Asterisk, welcome back to DP State Stories, where real drama meets unforgettable moments. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we bring you the most compelling real-life stories that you just can't make up. Asterisk. Now let's dive into today's story, one that starts with a sharp insult, a smug smirk, and ends with just 9 words from someone nobody expected, words that completely silenced the room. Of 2025, at a corporate event held in downtown Chicago, the kind of place with valet parking, name badges, and people pretending to care about more than just climbing the ladder. Among the guests were Karoline DeWitt and Jasmine Mendez. Asterisk, Karoline was known for her sharp suits, sharper tongue, and her reputation as one of the top corporate consultants in the Midwest. She walked like she owned the room, and in many ways, she believed she did. Asterisk, Jasmine, on the other hand, was new to the scene. A quiet but brilliant systems analyst who had just transferred from the Phoenix office. This was her first big networking event since the move, and she had been encouraged by her manager to make an impression. And oh, she did, just not in the way anyone expected. It all started at the valet line. Asterisk. Karoline had arrived in a sleek black Mercedes and was chatting loudly with 2 other executives. She carried herself with confidence, or maybe more accurately, with arrogance. Jasmine showed up not long after in a modest hybrid hatchback, the kind that says, "I care more about function than flexing." Asterisk, as Jasmine approached the check-in desk, she heard Karoline's voice behind her. Asterisk, well, if it isn't the new genius from Phoenix, Karoline said, her tone dripping with sarcasm. Heard you're the one who cracked the Denver logistics mess. Impressive, for someone who looks like they're still finishing undergrad. Asterisk, a few people chuckled. Jasmine turned, offering a polite but tight smile. Asterisk, I did work on the Denver case, she said calmly, but it was a team effort. Asterisk, oh, so humble, Karoline smirked. But tell me, how exactly does a systems analyst solve a logistics issue? I'm just curious how the intellectual process works for someone in your ... position. Asterisk, it wasn't just a question. It was a performance. Karoline wanted an audience. The way she emphasized the word intellectual made it clear what she was implying, that Jasmine didn't belong, that she wasn't smart enough, that she was somehow less than the others. Asterisk, Jasmine opened her mouth to respond, but before she could say a word, a voice cut through the air from the edge of the valet area. Asterisk, 9 words. Not if she was smart. Asterisk, everyone turned. The voice had come from the valet stand. A man in his early 40s, wearing a standard navy jacket and a laminated name tag that read Sam. He stood with his arms crossed, keys in one hand. Watching the scene unfold with quiet intensity, Karoline froze. What did you say? She asked, blinking in disbelief. Asterisk, Sam stepped forward just a bit. You asked how she solved it, not if she could. Big difference. Shows you already knew she was capable. Asterisk, there was a beat of silence. You could feel the oxygen leave the space. Asterisk, one of Karoline's companions, let out an awkward cough. Another looked away, pretending to check her phone. Asterisk, Jasmine stared at Sam, stunned. Not because she couldn't defend herself, but because someone else had seen what was happening and decided it wasn't okay. Asterisk, Karoline's face shifted, a flicker of irritation, then embarrassment. She turned back to Jasmine with a forced smile. Asterisk, well, I guess some people take things quite seriously, she said, her tone lighter, like she was joking. Asterisk, Jasmine just smiled. Sometimes they should. Asterisk, with that, she walked away, leaving Karoline and her crowd standing there, not laughing anymore. Word spread quickly, as it always does. People approached Jasmine not out of pity, but respect. They'd seen how she handled the insult with grace, and more importantly, with quiet strength. Even the regional director made a point to find her later that night and say, "You're exactly the kind of person we need more of around here." Asterisk, as for Karoline, well, her reputation took a hit, not a career-ending one, but enough to remind her that no matter how high you climb, it never pays to punch down. Asterisk, and what about Sam, the valet? Asterisk, a few weeks after the event, Jasmine returned to that same building for another meeting. When she saw Sam, she walked over and thanked him. Asterisk, you didn't have to say anything that day, she said. Asterisk, Sam shrugged, smiling. didn't feel right. Staying quiet, some people think silence is neutral, but most of the time it's just permission. Asterisk, they chatted a little more, and Jasmine learned that Sam used to be a teacher, English and history, but had to leave the classroom years ago due to family obligations. He had a way with words, and it was clear that he still had a sharp eye for human behavior. Asterisk, Jasmine later shared his story with the company's outreach team, and 6 months later, Sam was offered a part-time role in the corporate training department, helping teach communication, ethics, and leadership. Funny how life works sometimes. Intelligence isn't about titles, degrees, or how loudly you speak in a room. Sometimes it's about knowing when to speak up and doing it in just 9 words. Asterisk, thanks for watching this episode of DP State Stories. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you think twice about how we treat others, give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And as always, hit that subscribe button for more stories that reveal the power of words, the strength of character, and the moments that change everything. Asterisk, until next time, keep your ears open, your heart kind, and your voice ready to stand up when it matters most. Asterisk.